All right, guys, we're going to start really, really soon. Oh, hello. I can hear myself twice. The live board has just come through, and we're just. I think we've got another little while still until the games get going, but we can start chatting at any rate. Okay. Hello, 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 and welcome. All right, we're up. We're running. We're live. We have a camera. I have a camera. Pietro has a camera. We have a chessboard. Oh, the goat of commentary. I don't know if I'm the goat, but um, I will take that. Oh, it's one of those mornings where I've woken up and I'm kind of like groggy, you know? So, yeah, we'll see. Hi, Matt. Hi, Pietro. Hello, hello, Pietro. Had a good day yesterday. He scored 1.5 out of the two. So the first, hopefully, I'm not the curse for him because he lost both games when I was commentating rounds 1 and 2, which was just so sad, so sad. Um, and then, yeah. Oh, another morning, another day. Um, all right, let's see. Let's see what's what. I've got to do the old Instagram thing. Um, oh, we're starting to see moves. Great. All right, they're coming through. We nailed this. Okay, so the video feed can go forward a tiny bit. Oh, this is not their game. Is it? Oh, yeah, it is. So, sorry, the board's ahead. The board is ahead. E4, C5, knight F3. So boom, boom. Oh, wow, okay. They started on time. They did not. Actually, they started a tiny bit late. But last time, knight takes an E4, E5 even. All right, cool. We can get straight into this. I better get on the Instagram stuff then. Jeez. Jeez, I'm behind. I am so behind. Um, Cool. Let's put it on the story. Make sure we get people in. Hello, everybody, and hello to the whole YouTube crowd that do not know me. I'm Matt. I also make lots of chess content, usually behind the scenes for many other people, but I stream in a little bits myself, and I like to test content on my own things before I make new things for other people as well. So you see a eclectic mix of stuff from me. Um, all right. So this is round 5 of the Amsterdam Open, by the way, guys. Um, let's just link. Oh, I do not want a link in bio. I want to cover the opening, so I need to be faster, guys. The problem is I'm one of the slowest ever typers and readers. Comes with being dyslexic, but you know that also comes with other great things like creativity and the ability to edit. All right, we're up. So, openings. Many openings things. Yes, opening things have occurred. Okay, the video feed is still not synced. There is a bishop. There we go. All right. So let's have a look, guys. Morning, Ali. The overlay is stuck. It's stuck. On my side, it's fine. Oh, the chat overlay is stuck. Right. I need to read properly. Embed and stream. Let's refresh. Thanks for the call out on that. Interesting. How's about this? Hopefully this'll do the job. Yo, how's it going? Welcome in everybody. Now I am not seeing any chat come through. Okay. Oh, I think I know what's happened. I think we're going from the bottom to top this time. Okay, chat has changed. It went top to bottom. Now it's going bottom to top. So we just do that. There we go. You're back. Beautiful. You're back to being back. Nice, Oak. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're here. We're here. We're ready. Everything is going swimmingly, Pietro, I promise. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the opening. So we get e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6. So this is like a kind of old Sicilian variation. And then we get a straight up d4. Takes. So this is like an open Sicilian. And then we hit them with e5. E5 is a move. It's one of the like top 3 main moves that has been played, so it's been played many times. And then we get knight b3. This is quite a normal retreat square for the knight. Covers some c5, but it does feel kind of strange. But the king side is the queen side is very very secure. So we might see queenside castling from white at some point. We get normal developing moves from Pietro. So knight f6, we're attacking the central pawn on e4, and then knight c3 just comes in and defends, and then bishop b4, pinning the knight and also trying to reinvigorate the attack with this pawn. So there's many things you can do. White should probably try and defend the pawn with bishop d3. You can play something like bishop c4 to try and maybe give up the pawn. I think there's some flagpole ideas potentially. So on bishop c4, we can just take on e4 here. And then there's some like bishop f7. I can't quite remember the general sequence, but I think bishop f7, king takes f7, and then we still don't have any, like, we don't take the knight, but I think we get some like queen activity. So let's just play it through. King f7 and queen d5. Yeah, is the play. If we go king e8, then queen takes e4. And this seems okay, but we've isolated black's pawns and stuff, and it actually gives us as okay for black, which is kind of funny, but we will end up doubling these pawns. d5 comes with some pressure, and then we've got maybe a little bit of a problem. So with this kind of move with d4. And actually, I don't know how we counter this, because maybe we have to go like a3, and then we can trade. Okay, sure. So yeah, this is like a complicated, like some opening stuff. We didn't go into that though, so we're all good. So following on from bishop e4, white does opt to go bishop d3. They've just made the move. Great. That's the most logical, most practical move. I think you've probably got to know what you're doing with the bishop takes f7 lines, and it gets very, very tricky, but I think things are okay for black. Pietro feels like he knows what he's doing here, though, because he's playing really quickly, which is good. He's gained time. His opponent is thinking. So this is brilliant for us. And also because we know Pietro's time management is maybe questionable. From what I've gleaned from chat, anyway. From what I've gleaned from chat. I suppose it depends what opening he's in and stuff, but like this, he knows exactly what he's doing. He just played d5, like threw it out like it was nothing. So yeah. I'm actually I'm actually tempted to try something out here as well, guys. Give me. And hello, I am Godsker, and hello, Cameron. Welcome in, welcome in. Sorry, I didn't catch you guys just before. So I've actually got a thought. So, oh, we should do this in studio mode actually, and then we'll do this, and this, and this. You'll see what I'm doing in a second, guys. I hopefully you'll appreciate. Some people like to have this up. I might need to update the filters to get this to work. Okay. Okay, let's try this out. So I'm just putting the accuracy scores for the game up, because I think that's kind of interesting to look at. If you guys can see. Ta-da! Is that cool or what? I think it's cool. I don't. Maybe it's unnecessary, but you're scared. Why are you scared? Are you scared for Pietro or just scared of in general? Also, if anyone has any questions about the game, about the time controls, let me know. I'll try and answer as best as I can. Cool. Why? Why what? So bishop d3 and d5. So Pietro is in his territory. We can see that he's very calm. He's super chill. He's laid back. He knows this opening. You can tell by the time management he's used. And now his opponent is thinking, which is awesome. His opponent is also a 1750. So similar rated players, which is good. But if you're out prepping your opponent, that's always really, really nice. Am I? Yeah, we are live. And also, does that go to my thing? It's 2 p.m. for you. Nice. You're rated 1907, but anytime I play, I lose. Then you might not be 1907. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. There might be a small discrepancy there. So I suppose, are you losing rating? That's the thing. Good day to you, Tony. Good. Hey, Karma. Good morning. Welcome. Nice to see you. We're covering Pietro's games today. I'm actually just gonna extend Pietro's window so we can see the full backwards lean. Both people, we need a wider angle camera for this stuff. Like, they are both like trying to stay as far away from each other as possible. Maybe they might both smell bad. Who knows? No, I'm sure Pietro smells like roses. So this is a really interesting move. What are the ratings of the opponents playing? So the opponent is 1750 and Pietro is 1719 as it currently stands. Although so far from in this tournament, he's down 8 elo. But that doesn't really matter. You will get fluctuations and it's always hard. I think elo is overrated. I think if I gave elo a rating, it would be 1500. Using elo to try and disprove elo, the contradictions, the hypocritical nature of that statement. In any case, so can you see that if I switch to openings? You can. Great. So we can see in this position already. With bishop d3, white has gone awry. White has gone awry already in terms of the opening database as we go. Knight takes d4 is the main move here. White has played aggressively with d4. Knight takes, which is fine. Knight f6 is a normal play, but e5 is a bit of a sideline. But knight b5 is the main move. which feels weird because it looks it's kind of scary because you think you're probably going to get like kicked around a bit. You got d6 and a6, but for example a6, and then you go knight 5 c3, and then you're like blocking your other knight. It feels really weird, right? So if you're unaware of this opening, that's such a natural move to make, but already it makes it quite tricky because this e5 move comes in, we take, and also e5, d5 is really weird because it opens up the bishop as well, right? But we get a really nice central knight. We've got this pin. You've got to try and do something about it. Bishop d2 is a normal move, but black is already doing really well here. We're not like, it's a very equalish position, but black's won the opening battle, I would say. So, and why is this? Because our pieces are developed away, like towards the center. We're kind of pointing towards the king. We've undeveloped a piece a little bit. Like it's not really doing too much on b3 over here. This knight can't do anything. This bishop is well placed though. The bishop is well placed, but our pawn structure is going to end up on like dark squares. So it's going to be hard for this bishop to find a good home. So it's got to go to d2, which is a very passive square. And then maybe in the way that we trade minor pieces, we'll end up with like, we'll have a light squared bishop, but they'll have a light squared bishop, but our pawns will be on dark squares, which gives us an edge. And that's the kind of way you need to kind of think about chess and your trades and the minor pieces and what pieces are on the board and what value do they have. Because when you learn chess, you learn the piece values, which is so important. Like knights and bishops are worth 3 points, rooks are worth 5, queens are worth 9. But in a game where all of black's pawns are on dark squares, and we only had a king and a light squared bishop each, then black's light squared bishop would be worth more because it can attack. If our pawns are on dark squares, it probably means our opponents are on light squares and unable to move, which means our bishop can attack pawns while theirs can't. And that's huge because if we can attack and win a pawn, then we kind of win the game. We go up and up. We'll keep going up in material. So yeah, that's like a strategic way of like conceptualizing how to play. But everyone has their own like systems and has their own way of thinking and playing chess. But the way I think about chess is very much influenced by Jeremy Silman, and because I read a couple of chapters of How to Reassess Your Chess when I was learning, or when I was about 1400. Bishop d2 played. You've kind of got to, because your pawn structure will get damaged. But I quite like knight c3 anyway, because we'll still damage the pawn structure. But you probably want to take with the pawn because you want to retain this dark squared bishop. My perception of this position is the light squared bishops. We keep those on. We trade all the other minor pieces. Black. That would be black's dream. I could be entirely wrong with all of this though. So like, if there's more experienced people in chat, I would love to hear your opinions because that will only help me become a better player as well. But since me and Pietro are similar levels of player, it'd be interesting to see how he plays this because he knows this opening and I don't. So that's my perception of minor pieces in this position. But we got a long way to go, and our opponent shouldn't let us trade this dark squared bishop. I think that's super valuable. But we will create a weakness. But for example, if we go bishop takes, I think we're doing quite well here as black for sure. Something like queen c7 in castles is a choice to make. Also, you'll notice players getting up and down from the board. So if you don't know much about tournaments, you can get up, you can go around, look around the games. It's really nice. It's also good to just stretch, move, get your head out of your game for a sec. Not that that ever works for me. I always think about my game when I'm walking around, and I can't absorb what's going on in other games. You are 1,000 elo and once won against a 1,500. That's so good, Cameron. Shows you have potential. So, yeah, keep it up. That sounds epic. Is my camera out of focus? Probably. What am I eating? I'm eating a lasagna. For breakfast, I must say as well. But the problem is, or not the problem. I suppose it was a problem on the first two rounds on Friday. I made a whole lasagna, and then I get so engrossed in chess that I forgot to eat. Like I had some fruit and some snacks throughout the day, but I didn't have any like substantial meal. So now I'm just starting round one with like a hefty piece of lasagna to like get me through, and then we'll go from there. Okay, the video feed's a little bit behind, so we see knight takes c3, and then b takes c3. So our opponent does take and leaves the dark squared bishops on the board, which I think is the decision you should make for sure. And Pietro very quickly comes back to d6. So the logical choice, I think, is d6 or bishop d7. Bishop d6 is more active because it allows us maybe some e4 push in the future, which can change the structure. We can castle and maybe use like get queen h4. You should always think about how your pieces are coordinating. Have you ever gotten? I'm not going to finish that sentence. Good thing my brain was just that little bit ahead of me today. Just that little bit ahead of me. Oh, oh dear. Oh, dear, dear, dear. That's the thing with chat. You've just got to be careful, man. YouTube chat gone wild. I mean, it's not the worst question I've ever had. It's kind of a funny question. Usually people are trying to bait you to say something you shouldn't. But that's just like a question from like I went to an all boys school as a teenager. And that's just like the exact question that someone would have asked. My good brain. Brain did good that time. Brain did good. Although it has now put me on the defensive, so I will be more aware of just reading chat willy nilly now. Okay, yeah, but bishop d6, bishop e7. I did wonder bishop a3 is kind of interesting because you're just blocking this pawn, but it's not actually doing anything, right? But so bishop d6 is a good shout. And then it's up to white to decide what they do. A very natural move would be castles. And this is where things get like as you get higher up in an intermediate chess setting, you start trying to figure out the moments in which you should do certain things because as far as normal chess practice goes and your opening principles, you should develop all of your pieces, all of your minor pieces, get castled, get your king safe, and then connect your rooks. So far, white has accomplished, they've developed their minor pieces. And one of the big criteria for trying to win and be, you know, and just play good chess is follow these principles. So like castling and getting your king safe is huge. King safety is one of the most important things. Now, the king is currently still kind of safe. There's no attack coming for it. And the question is if we want to connect our rooks, we can maybe switch the order of our principles. And something like queen h5 stands out to me as a move that you should definitely be considering. What is my rating? I'm 1770 FIDE. I'm just under 2100 on ChessCom. I am not good at math, Cameron. I'm really sorry. So queen h5 is annoying because if we castle into mate. So I'll just show that as an example. Because if we follow our principles after that, checkmate, because the bishop and the queen coordinate together. So this is a little bit annoying, and we probably just want to play something like g6, but then we can also get queen h6 to stop castling. We can try bishop f8 and reroute, which I think is kind of like a normal, like that would be a kind of nice idea. Maybe go queen g5 and offer a queen trade. We can go queen all the way back to e3 and things like that. So yeah, those are kind of all ideas and plans. So I like queen h5. Oh, and he plays it. Good. Because we're under no threat, right? And so I think g6 would be a normal response, and then it's a question of whether we go queen h6 or not, or whether we just pop back and we just say like, okay, we've made you push g6. That was our plan. We're going to try and create a weakness. I still quite like this. We're trying to stop castling, and then the bishop undevelops, right? But we've wasted a lot of time moving our queen around 1, 2, and 3 moves. Okay, we've gone bishop. We've also wasted a lot of time with our bishop, but it gives us some flexibility in what we want to do. So if the queen decides it wants to go all the way back, we can actually go bishop g7 and get castled. And then this pawn, which was kind of weak-ish, but not really because it can be supported, then we can start looking at castling and getting a rook on the e-file to x-ray the queen and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like potential in this position, but I think the moves feel very logical now. All of these opening moves feel quite logical. The only opening move that is logical but actually maybe a bit inaccurate, and this is where it's a good opening choice probably from Pietro, is that black retains an advantage after knight black gains a tiny edge, a microscopic edge after knight b3. I think because in general, white won't queenside castle with a structure like this. This knight isn't really getting into the game. As long as this pawn stays on e5, there's no knight d4, which is a lovely central square. We've got full control over the d4 square. And as we're about to see, I assume that we'll see some g6, queen h6, bishop f8. That's what would cross my mind at any rate. Other potentials, because you should always look for other moves, is something like queen c7, because we can't take the pawn yet, because we do something like this, and this bishop will just be trapped. We will get the queen in to attack. You cannot defend. Actually, the queen doesn't really have anywhere good to go anyway. So maybe we could just go queen f8. Or bishop f5 as well, so the pawn sack. So the bishop sack for 2 pawns doesn't happen. It's kind of interesting. But I think queen f8 just works. Queen f8, queen takes, king takes. And then we're trying to come in here. You can go bishop all the way up here, but we'll just move out of the way. King e8, and then we'll reroute our bishop. And we will get a piece for 2 pawns, and then there'll be 3 passes. So it'd be a really interesting imbalance. Not even 2 pawns, a pawn. So actually, that's not an interesting balance at all. We want to try for 2 pawns. Would you say this position is more about long-term positional pressure or concrete tactical calculation? I think every position. So I'm a positional player. And as you can maybe tell about how I've conceptualized some of these ideas about what minor piece trades, I conceptualize like the strategic values, but every position is about concrete calculation. There are some positions where you cannot concretely calculate because there's so much to it. But people who can calculate concretely will come out of most positions better, irrelevant of the strategic value. But then your evaluation of a final position after you finish calculating. So this is like a concrete calculation, kind of. It's a bit of both. But this is where like taking with the pawn, I think, is important because of strategic values. But then calculate, like, this is very much calculation of like, if I go queen c7, can you take here? What if I go g6? Where does the queen go? It goes back. Cool. Then I go bishop f8, bishop c7. Like, there's a lot of forcing moves. So concrete calculation is really important. But you've got to also make sure that your forcing moves are leading you to a position that is good. And a lot of this is like the balance of those two things, because yes, I could calculate this, and we can look at the engine and go, oh, well, the engine likes this. But this is like easy to calculate, and then you've just got to evaluate what position is good or bad. Or is it better? Is it better for black? Is it worse for white? At the moment, I think in terms of how you think about this position, there's not like, I think the concrete calculation comes here, but this is very much like positional. You're calculating to get a different position. Our bishop has traveled so far to b4, to d6, to f8, to g7. This queen has traveled so far to h5, h6, and e3. But we now have pressure in different ways, so there's a lot of strategic ideas to think about. But yeah, chess is like hard like that, because I don't think it's one or the other. But what I have learned recently is calculation gets you so far. Like, calculating correctly makes a huge impact on the game. And we see g6 played by Pietro. We love to see it. Nice move. All right, now he's leaning forward a bit. He's less chill. I'm gonna just readjust the cam, give his opponent a little bit more space, because his opponent is super chill. They are both like really just chill guys today. I don't know what it is like. And Pietro's gonna lean back, and then I'll have to like readjust again, but it's fine. Isn't e5 pawn kind of black? So kind of bad if black fianchettos. Great question, and I always struggle with this, because when I'm white, I'm like, oh, it sucks. Why are you fianchetting the bishop and like e5? But there's so common in loads of openings that the pawn on e5, it blocks this bishop, and I'm like, haha, your bishop is trash. No, it isn't. Yes, you can blockade this pawn, but the thing is, as black, you're not getting mated. Good morning, Jenny. Nice. Oh, pancakes. I'm jealous. I want pancakes. This is round 5. It should be in the stream title. So let me know if that's wrong. Let me know if that's wrong for whatever reason. Yeah, so it looks like it's kind of bad, but at the same time, we can probably push it at some point. There'll be a world where we can push this pawn to maybe open up this bishop. The thing is, with this structure and the bishop, it's very hard to get mated. So then this game becomes a little bit more like longer term positional. We both have the 2 bishops and a knight. White has a weaknesses for us to attack. So essentially, you're not going to be able to checkmate us, and we're going to try and pick up these pawns. That would be the general gist. What number round is it? Oh, no, don't be silly. Sometimes it's just easier to ask people. I do this all the time when the information is probably like right there for me if I actually just like do something, but I prefer asking someone. It's nice. I like getting information from people. I don't like, just to consume digitally. And you build relationships with people, and you build on something, or you can see how they are, or like, are you doing good today? Because you seem a bit down when you answered that. Just, I love people so much. I love hanging with people and chilling with people, talking to people. There is a mod. You are the opposite. You're a hard introvert. Yeah, that's it, Karma. Like, I I get so much energy from people to the extent that after the tournament in Maya in Portugal that I was at, I was like horrendously sad when I came back home. Like I was with like 18 streamers out there and we had the best time, and I was sharing a room with like two people, which don't get me wrong, does great after a while. I mean, they were great people. We didn't have any like problems or tension, but it's like nice to have your own room. I actually booked my own room for the last night because I was like, I just want to like, you know, just chill. But I enjoyed myself wholeheartedly, and it was amazing. Made some lifelong friends as well. So shout out to everyone there. Um, okay. All right. So we see G6, Bishop F8. Well, actually, Queen has not moved yet. So he's really heavily debating on whether he wants to go Queen H6. If he doesn't go Queen H6, what does he do? I did wonder if the Queen trade would be worth considering at all. Okay, so let's think. On Queen G5, do we want to trade queens? Um, Black's doing well. Always if you trade the queens early. But the thing is, I don't think I want to trade queens. I am almost tempted to castle. I'm also wondering if we can get away with like H6 or Bishop E7. What is the strategic value of all of this? This is the big question. What do you think? What rank do you think Pietro has a chance to achieve in this tournament? When you say rank, what do you mean, Void? I don't know what because at the moment he's at 1.5 out of 4, so he's on less than 50%. Now, this game feels comfortable for him at the moment. I know we can't assume anything, but the opening has gone very much in his favor. His opponent is burning a lot of time, so everything, provided this game goes well, he can then be 3.5 out of 5. I'm sorry, 2.5 out of 5. Which will be put him on 50%. And then if he wins the next game after that, then he'll be on 3.5 out of 6, which is a more than 50% score, which is cool. But you mean like the number? Because I'm not sure how many people are in his bracket. But he will probably be somewhere in the middle, provided he wins the next 2 games. Or maybe slightly above the middle, because a 50% score will put you in the middle. And then a 3.5 score will put you just above that. Anything lower, then he'll be below the middle of the pack. When you're playing a chess game like this as well, it's hard not to think about a lot of those factors as well. So yeah, I think we just castle, because if you want to take, you're just kind of helping us out. Castles. And I think we're doing good. I think we're doing really good here. Again, there's a long-term weakness that we want to try and target. If we get the dark squared bishops off, that might be nice. We're covering this. I'm not sure how we want to develop, though. This is also the thing. Like, I don't know where we want to put our pieces. Maybe bishop e6 is an idea for the time being. So there's no like bishop c4. We do want to be careful of this pawn, but yeah, and in all, we're doing all right. So I think bishop e6 makes a lot of logical sense. In a position like this, we're just trying to develop pieces, and then we can look at getting a rook on the c file to try target this. We maybe have to reroute the knight. So we go knight e7 and knight d4 and d5. So then we're targeting this, and then we also prompt a pawn to go on light squares, which could be quite good for us. And then maybe we get knight b. Maybe we get knight b6 or something like that. So yeah, what's our game plan? Bishop g5, covering the d8 square, rook d7. Again, also maybe annoying. And maybe get a rook on the file. Maybe this rook on the file or something to that effect. We could try trade bishops. I quite like trading bishops personally. Engine agrees, cool. Takes, knight takes. Engine doesn't like knight takes. Interesting. So yeah, it's always fascinating to see all the different ideas and concepts. But yeah. Ideas all stemming from whether we want to try and trade queens, all that kind of stuff. You don't know why, but Pietro's knight seems useless for now, and the king also feels like too much in the open of the board. The king is not open, and also he can just castle, right? So void. So both kings are not castled yet. Both kings can castle instantly if they need to, and you cannot castle, as I said before, in this position, because you get checkmated. So you do need to do something about this. And the king is very safe. There's only one piece like around to attack. You like mango. We all like mango. And if you say you don't like mango, you actually do. So yeah, and so like next move, if queen h6 doesn't come, you can castle. Something like queen g5, boom, castles. We're cool. And then it's up to white what they want to do. I think queen takes d8, rook takes d8, essentially puts this rook on a file that it may not want to be on. But I think we're doing really well here. Again, I think the opening battle, Pietro is doing really, really well. Really nice, just chill, playing all of the standard moves. Pieces are coming to the good squares, and then we're just playing a game of chess. His opponent's still having a really big think. I think queen h6 is a bit of a no-brainer. Maybe he's worried about getting trapped for some reason, but I would quite like this as my option as white at any rate, because we want to just try put some pressure on a central pawn. This bitch has spent so much time moving. It hurts. But there is a world where it's like, well, actually, maybe things aren't going so great. Maybe I should trade queens. Okay, great. He goes queen h6, which is like, I don't know, it just screams to be played to me. And then I assume we'll see bishop f8 quite quickly. Also because Pietro, the good thing about Pietro being ahead on the clock now and being more comfortable with the position is he can think about his opponent's moves. I'm assuming Pietro will understand a lot of the opening, like thematic moves, and has probably seen stuff like this before. So from experience, sometimes you just don't need to spend much time when you do stuff. All right. So Pietro is having a think. It is good to have a think about this stuff. I don't think queen h6 would have been a surprise to him at all. But maybe this is more newer territory. So let's have a look in the opening database. I mean, okay, this has been played in the Masters database. Bishop d6. White is usually castled here, but queen h5 is a good shot. So again, this might be new territory for him. This might be completely new territory for him. g6 is a very logical move. But also before g6, you probably should have considered queen h6 as well. So I'm assuming bishop f8. Yeah, it looks like he's going to play bishop f8. Yeah, he does. Easy job. We'll see queen e3, I would have thought. You could go queen g5. You could go queen g5, but yeah, okay. His opponent instantly plays queen g3, getting it all the way out of any danger. This pawn is potentially pinned for now. And we've got to spend a move moving the bishop, and then we'll probably see castles, and rook e1, I would have thought. Yeah. So this, I imagine, is going to be the general gist of play. Now, I'm wondering if there's like any f5. It might be a bit much, but because we actually just need to get this bishop out of town. So either bishop e6 or b6 are the ways that we would work to develop the bishop. I kind of like b6 actually because I want to eye up this diagonal. I don't think this diagonal is really doing much for us. Even though it's a nice central square, I really don't see how this bishop is aiding the game. Whereas when it's on b7, like we can start having ideas of how we can coordinate. Obviously, we can't go to g5, queen g5 yet, but there's we're starting to think about how we could attack the king, and also we'll keep all of our options open. Queen c7 is probably an idea. We support the pawn. We hit this pawn, and all that kind of stuff. So I think Pietro should just go bishop g7 now. Again, he spent a bit of time on bishop f8, so he was just double checking through. I imagine he would have seen queen e3 fairly quickly as well. And he just needs to, yeah, I don't think he needs to overthink these moves. And this, I mean, he's got a huge time advantage, which is great, but I think he can retain it. Bishop, like you've gone bishop f8, you spent all of this time, you going bishop g7. Yeah, okay. I think he spent a good amount of time on that move. Can I see the move? How long he spent on each move? Where can I see this? Oh, it's not showing me. Usually it shows me. Interesting. Oh, so I can't see the move times, which is a shame. Oh well. Also, Jenny, what kind of pancakes are you eating? That's what I want to know. I like my archetype pancake that I see first is like American thick pancakes with like maple sauce, maple syrup, and like blueberries or something. But I love a thin like crepe that kind of pancake with like lemon and sugar. Like that's just so good, so good. Also, chat, what's your favorite pancake? Let me know because all I can think about is pancakes. Is there like a pancake opening, like a pancake chess opening we can look into? Can we make a pancake chess opening? Okay. So now, I imagine we're going to see castles. It's hard not to castle in positions like this, right? So we switch the board, like, okay, I'm looking. It's amazing how I start seeing different ideas as soon as I flip the board. So we could be annoying and play queen c5 and say, you're not castling. Like, that's really annoying. That is very annoying. And then what does black actually do in this scenario, right? I guess maybe we then offer a queen trade. Or we can go bishop f8 again. But then queen back and then we castles. It might be interesting. But it feels like that could just lead to some form of repetition. So I think I like queen c7. Because in the event of trades, again, I'm happy as black. It's going to be really hard. We will try and develop as soon as possible. The e4 square is a bit loose though and light, so that is very annoying. And maybe we then trade. Well, this is the thing. This is where I was saying actually. Oh no, we want to trade dark squared bishops. So actually, white has resolved a bunch of problems, I think. But they are still saddled with this. And the benefit of our bishop being on this g7 diagonal now is actually the c3 square becomes even weaker. So this, I think, is very much in our favor. So maybe queen c5 is an interesting move. I don't know if I rate it hugely, but like I thought it would be annoying. Outside of queen c5, castles is just 100%. Your Mexican brother-in-law didn't know pancakes. What? You ate them with sugar and jam as usual, and he stuffed his with fresh chilies. Oh my god, that. To be honest, I mean, I've had a lot of like savory pancakes, and stuff like that. That doesn't sound like bad at all. There's um, there's a place in London Bridge that was down the road from my office, like a 5 minute walk. I used to work in the building next to the Tate Modern, in a very big swanky building, and it's like the House of Pancakes, and oh my god, they did the best savory pancakes. Like they'd be massive as well, but it'd be like barbecued, like pork pancake, like you can't. I can't even begin to describe. I miss that so much. Okay, so queen c5 is a potential option. What else can we look at? I don't know. Those are the only two things that I'd kind of want to play, I think. I don't think the knight can come in and do anything. I mean, maybe you could go like rook b1 or something, but again, it's just kind of weird. Queen c5 is the only other thing I think you should be considering here. Considering time zones feels like an awfully early chess. Where is your time zone? My name is Joey. Or should I just call you Joey? 2 rounds a day. Yeah, 2 rounds a day for 3 days is brutal. Like, this is endurance. You're in Canada, currently 6 a.m. Wow. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's commitment. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. At 6 a.m., huge commitment. On a Sunday morning? God, what's wrong with you? Why are you here? I mean, I hope you're like chilling in bed, just like, doing your thing. Okay, we get castles. We get castles. And I think we'll follow up with castles as well very quickly. I don't see any reason not to. So if Pietro doesn't castle here, we'll then go in and analyze his move, because I would also castles here 100%. There's no danger. The pieces, how they develop, all that kind of stuff. I think we're in a good spot to castle. And he castles. Beautiful. Great minds think alike. What can I say? You wake up at 5 daily for work. 6 isn't too early for you. Fair enough. I miss having the routine of being a morning person. That said, I'm building it in again. So I booked in a meeting at 6 a.m. on Monday. In fairness, I completely forgot the hour was changing, so it was meant to be a 7 a.m. meeting. But now it's just gonna I'm just gonna have to be at 5 anyway. Because I was gonna get up at 6 to then, get sorted and then, have my meeting at 7. Now it's going to be 5. So I need a good early night to get tonight, guys. No rapid tilt. F5, E4, ever an idea for black? Does that weaken the king too much? Yeah, that's what I was trying to think about earlier. Thing is, F5 at the moment allows this bishop to improve a little, which is kind of annoying. I think it's too weakening as it currently stands. I definitely think there should be in the future, like maybe towards in the end game when we want to try and create our own parser, depending on the minor pieces and the structures, etc. There is definitely high potential for E4 and F5, but as it stands in the middle game, I wouldn't touch it. You should definitely consider it. 100% consider it. What did he do? Oh, okay. And then he's gone rook b1, which makes sense. Only open file. I think this is an opportunity to go b6 and bishop b7. We will need to look after this knight. I think rook e8 or rook d1 might have been better, or rook e1. Maybe rook e1. Again, it's about this pawn, because we'd actually love it if white started pushing the f pawn, and also because we pushed g6, like as it stands, we don't want to push f5. Well, it's not that bad, but yeah, we just want to open our king at this stage. Maybe if king h8 first, but I think if we had a bishop on e6, then maybe as well. We think about it, but we can try. So here I'm either considering b6, which also limits the knight's movement, queen c7. Just holding the knight and the pawn, it's quite flexible. It keeps us off a file. And then we'll see from there. The thing is like, where is this knight going? This knight obviously wants to move. So maybe f4 is an idea for black. To try and like open some things up. But it feels a bit too much. So I think like queen c7. Maybe we just get the rook on e8. Again, support this central pawn. If there's any f4 ideas, we don't care. Queen c7 holds the pawn. And maybe we can even get a6, b5 things in. That doesn't seem too horrendous to me either. I liked b6 just on the basis we're stopping the knight as well, but b6, c4 could be annoying because then c5 comes. And yeah, I'm not 1,000,000% sure what I like here. But definitely a plan. You think it's a better strategy for black to seek the chances in the c file. In the endgame, with the 4 versus 3 situation, it's good for black and he can push them. But now there is too much danger. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Berlin. You're so much more eloquent than me. You should be doing commentary. And so far, look at this. Black, 100% accuracy. On low depth stockfish, let's go. We are only like 14, 15 moves in. But this is where I think the things branch and there's a lot of options. Queen c7, rook e8. One of those two. Or b6, one of those three. I think c4 is important so we can address the issue of this dark squared bishop being a bit clamped in. So let's select bishop queen c7, c4. We're holding this knight at bay a little bit. Rook e8. We might end up just playing all of these moves. Rook e1, b6. Like I think all three of these moves are actually kind of candidates. Like I was saying, like b6. Queen c7 or rook e8. I actually think they're candidates for the next bunch of moves because it's like, where do our pieces want to be? Well, we want a rook. We want a rook facing the queen. The queen sort of in a more flexible square and out of the way of a potentially open file. b6 is to get this bishop out and about, and then we want to connect our rooks. So yeah, I think there's a lot of potential. I suppose it's in the long run, f5 and e4 is the plan, but that's like way down in the end game. Not now, not right now. Queen c7 maybe also because if we do ever get any bishop c4, then we can bring the knight back to e7 and we're attacking, and then maybe the knight like can reroute itself to d5, which would be quite a juicy square, especially because this pawn is something we're trying to attack. So maybe queen c7 is nice on that front. Queen c7, bishop c4. What's the game plan? I mean, we can also just go knight a5. But it doesn't really do anything. I think the bishop just moves. Or we take. Maybe we just continue with our plan of b6 and we're just saying, like, what is this bishop actually doing? Because everything in our position is super well defended. Bishop f5. On bishop c4 is Berlin. So what we're saying, queen c7, bishop c4, bishop f5. I don't know what the bishop is doing here particularly. I know we've got this, but I think the more pieces we trade, the easier it's going to be to start attacking these. Very much like me, Pietro wants b6. Good. I like b6. Bishop b5 or bishop c4 attacking c2. Yeah. That makes sense. It does make sense. I think I'm going to need some more coffee. The problem is I'm out of coffee. Guys, I didn't go to the shop before starting commentary. This could be dire straits. This could be very dire straits. But the game is going well. So that maybe that's all the coffee I need. I have had just some lasagna though, so maybe that's why I'm a little bit like, you know, like post food, just apparently your body like spends so much energy digesting food. All right, b6, idea, bishop b7, idea, stop knight. And it's like, what is black doing? So I think a rook d1, rook e1, all ideas. All of them great ideas. I think our position is going to be easier to play because of these c-pawns. Like, we have a clear target now. And that's the thing with doubled pawns. Everyone's like, everyone always gets scared of doubled pawns, and you shouldn't be. But what it does do is it makes play for one side a little bit more straightforward, because you're like, okay, what is weak? How do I attack the weakness? Doubled pawns. These doubled pawns are isolated, so they are weak. So yeah. You saw the b6 idea in a book, Techniques of Positional Play by Brosnik. You saw it a few months ago about how to control the knight on b3 and b6, vice versa. Yeah, exactly. And that's it. That is it. Like, it's a really nice controlling move. The knight probably didn't want to move for a little while anyway. Let's see if any openings. No, we are in entirely new territory. So, oh, funnily enough, though, the game in the database that I have has f4 as an idea. So we did mention f4 could potentially be an idea for white, because you were trying to like open up the f file, but like f4, I mean, we did talk about that very briefly. I don't know, like maybe even a couple moves ago when we were just thinking about lines. But I don't know. It's too much. It's too much for white. But yeah, so far we're just following like one game. Queen h6 was played, bishop 8, yeah. Anyways, just interesting. How are we doing there all the way over on YouTube? You guys all good? Any questions? Any concerns? Any ideas? Also, the time situ is still good for us. We're up a substantial amount of time, like 24 minutes, which is unheard of for Pietro. I mean, it will even out, and time does have a way of evening out. that if he can keep up the pressure and keep this edge up and just keep playing really well, or like he's playing, because he's playing incredibly right now, 100% accuracy so far, 15 moves in. Although interesting. Let's have a look. Let's put the engine depth on a little bit more. My stream might. Should I not? Stream will hate me. Just put it on 30 seconds real quick. I won't bump it up. And then we'll turn the lines on. There we go. Now I can see lines. Castles. Okay, B1. Okay, it's not thinking. Nah, it's got it saved for some reason. So that we'll turn that back down to 10. Bishop G7 and Bishop E6 make a nicer pair looking at the queen side. Yeah, weak. Yeah, I like Bishop E7 because I also like to look at both sides of the board, I guess, because this is already kind of weak. Although the good thing about Bishop E6 is it does control C4, but then we lose some potential like activity on the E file. So we do need to just be wary of that. Now, it's hard for the opponent to make a move, but I think Rook D1, again, another logical move, Bishop B7. Bishop B7 is interesting. I missed that there's some Knight C5 tactics. So we don't want that. We don't want that, actually, at all. And that's something I missed before. I only just noticed. So this is also why Queen C7 is important. So Rook D8, Queen C7. We kind of transposed the move orders, but maybe there's a whole reasoning behind Queen C7 being first. Maybe just because of that small tactical shot. Because now we have no Knight C5. That is fine. Oh, it was... And like, we're just stuck. Like, the queen is in the way of this bishop. It's actually hard to come up with a move for white. Like, it's fine. It's a fine position, but like, how are we actually ever going to be active? This knight on b3 sucks. And this is why it's probably really important that we don't pull the knight on b3 back in the opening. So if we go all the way back, and this is like a big thing, yeah, I don't like it for white either. This is a big thing as to why knowing where your pieces should go is really important, because strategically the knight on b3 is actually like stuck for the rest of the game, it feels like, and that stems back from here. This stems back from move 4. So when we looked at this and said knight b3 was actually the thing that is leading us to having like a small edge, we see it much later in the game, 10 moves later, as to why things suddenly get a bit annoying for white specifically to deal with, because this knight cannot do anything with b6. As someone in chat was saying, b6 is a nice move to counter any knights on b3. We've got a brilliant pawn on e5. This knight literally can only access two potential squares, and the only 3 other squares that it could go to are taken. Yes, b6 and bishop b7 is attractive, but is it effective? b6 weakens black's queen side and takes away the cover of knight c6. And bishop b7 is tactical. Bishop e6 is more positional. I don't think it's tactical. Like, I don't know. I think this is positional. I think this is positional, though. I think we want to play b6 anyway, and I think it's positional because we're stopping that. Like, we're literally killing this knight. Like, it's a useless piece. It becomes worth a pawn, kind of, almost. Whoops. Now you could do something like this, and we can go bishop. I would go queen c7 first, and if you want, then we can play the game. I don't know. I mean, I'd be half tempted to play f4, but that's just too much. Yeah, queen f3. We can go bishop b7, rook b1, maybe. But maybe we go bishop d7 here. But b6, okay, b6 is a flexible move because I think b6 irrelevant. Maybe you're right in terms of we still keep it flexible for the bishop, but b6 I think is very important, irrelevant positionally. How to get better at chess? Is that a question or a statement? So maybe bishop b7 isn't effective. Maybe you're right in that regard, but I think b6 is very effective. And we do see bishop e4 come from our opponent. So now the question is, are we going bishop b7? And it'd be really interesting because then we're starting to see what Berlin is suggesting. Is the bishop good on b7? Or do we want to attack the queen side? Because actually, there's loads of pieces around the king. It would be the only piece that's pointing at white's king. And actually, all of the weakness is this side of the board. So we don't care. So I quite like queen c7, bishop d7. We can go rook c1 and c8, and then our attack on all of these things like comes to life. Where's this knight going? Don't know. Bishop e3. Like what do you do? Rook d1, rook c8, and like we're out of this pin. The knight can come up. We can control c4. In front of the pawn, blockading pawns, maybe getting rid of this bishop, which is the only defender of this c pawn, or the only other defender of the c pawn, the only minor piece defender, and so on. Maybe you got to go c4 for bishop d5 or something to this effect. So yeah, I think Pietro should have a little think here then. I think my gut feel was bishop b7. Except it's a matter of playing style. Both ideas look justified. No, I don't think... I think your plan is better, Berlin. I just think we still need b6. So I think a combination of both of our thoughts is the best way to play. So together, if we combined and did fusion, like in Dragon Ball Z, we'd make GM. So like I actually completely, you've persuaded me that bishop b7 isn't the play at all. But that's also because of this scenario. He's gone for bishop e4. And queen c7 played. Pietro is nailing this, so he understands. He hasn't gone bishop b7. And he wants rook c8. That's what he's realized. Now you can do it with bishop b7 still. Queen f3. And I'm just going to turn on the engine line to see if there's specifics. Okay, so engine gives two options, obviously, which are either bishop b7 or bishop d7. One is minus 0.7 and one is minus 0.1. So there is a substantial difference. There's more than half a pawn in it in value. Berlin is correct. We don't want the bishop on b7. I mean, it's fine. We've still got a great opening. But we want to do it this way because we also don't want to lose this bishop. We don't want to trade the light squared bishops. So actually, this is the better way of doing things. Hello, Jad. You were watching the last round. They drew. Yes, they did indeed draw. It was a really good game. Um, but draw indeed. S Dang, were you asking me a question? I asked earlier. I wasn't sure. You said how to get better at chess, but there's no question mark, so I wasn't sure whether you were just stating. Bishop A6. Wait, what about bishop A6? Oh, the knight. What? A6 is over here. We can't go to A6 right now. Oh, as in like, sorry, from this position. Yeah, it's two pieces for a rook. That's not worth it, unfortunately. I would love if it was, but also, let's say you don't take the knight, right? Even if you couldn't take the knight for whatever reason, I think you can even just like go rook e1. Pietro isn't spending time weird. I think he's just very comfortable in his opening. Sorry, don't be sorry. It's all good. All good. So far, Pietro is playing an awesome game. But we need to see Bishop. Well, both moves actually still retain. Black is doing incredibly well in both cases and scenarios. But Bishop D7 is the way, and that's kind of interesting psychology there. And you've got to have a good think. Because whenever you play b6, it feels almost like you're meant to play bishop b7, and you need to understand this. What happened? Hey, Abdullah. Welcome. Do you want me to flick through quickly for you? Because Pietro isn't sat on the board, so we can 100% accuracy. That's what's happened. Yep, so far. And we're 17 moves in. Bro is playing well. This is like a low depth engine thing that chess.com does, though, so I wouldn't put too much stock into it, but e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4 takes, and then e5. Knight b3, which is a little bit of an inaccuracy in the opening, and I was explaining to chat earlier why that's actually coming back to bite the opponent. Knight c3, bishop b5 and b4, bishop d3 and d5. Like Pietro knows what's going on in this opening. He's made a really great opening choice. He's getting brilliant development, and he also snacks on c3. Our opponent doesn't want to trade the dark squared bishops, because then I think strategically, long term, black is better and should push. I won't go into the whole reasoning why now, but it's mainly to do with our pawns being on dark squares and them only having a light squared bishop, and vice versa. Queen h5 comes, which is a really nice shot. So g6 has to be played, queen h6, bishop f8, queen e3, and bishop g7. A lot of time wasted with the bishop, but our position is kind of superior and our pieces are better placed. Yeah, it's a really cool opening. We get short castles, and rook b1, and then b6. So I was questioning like queen c7 or b6. b6 stems this knight really nicely, and that's what I was saying earlier, as knight b3 actually being the slightly inaccurate move in the opening that is now being punished, and was punished already, but this is the reason the knight can't come into the game. Bishop e4, which I like as a move. We're putting pressure, pins. Queen c7 to defend, important. Bishop b7, I got talked around by Berlin as not being the optimum move, so we can see queen c7, which is the better try. Queen f3, and then we need to defend the knight again, so we go bishop d7. Bishop, and that's the question. Will Pietro play bishop d7? Bishop b7 still retains an edge for black, but bishop d7 is superior. Why? Why is it superior? This is a really important question. It's superior because we don't, as I was saying a bit before, is actually that for me, the minor pieces we want to trade is the dark squared bishops. Why? Because the dark squares are weak around our king. So if we don't have dark squared bishops, then because we push g6, it doesn't matter so much. Also, It's the only defender of the c3 here. But also our pawn structure, or our central pawn is currently on dart squares. These are on dart squares. We can probably block out this bishop as well. But the reasoning being that I think we can get the pawn structure in set up so our bishop is stronger, and there's just weaknesses. So I think the more that we trade down, the easier it is to target these weaknesses. That is also true. Bishop d7 does also look at both sides of the board, and the queen side. So as Berlin's suggesting, the queen side is weak, so let's just attack the queen side. We don't need to checkmate. We just need to win material and win the game. So Pietro is currently sitting on his hands. He's doing the approach that every Russian master tells their child prodigies: sit on your hands, don't make a move. So love to see it. He's either cold or just stopping himself from playing bishop b7. Hopefully he's stopping himself from playing bishop b7. Bishop b7 doesn't allow knight c5. No, it did before, because knight c5 now. No, it does. Sorry, yeah, of course. Brutal. So yes, bishop b7 does allow knight c5. Key distinction there. But bishop b7, knight c5. We can move. We can just move, which isn't ideal. We don't like this. Rook b7. Yeah, but we don't take. So that's the key thing. Yep, he's cold. Did he go bishop b7? No. So yeah, bishop b7, knight c5. We have rook c8. So it's fine. But again, not ideal. We still have our edge, but then we're just going to waste time getting out of the pin and so on and so forth. And then white can play a move. We go queen back to c7. And yeah, maybe the bishop comes to d5, trying to kind of cement in this kind of stuff. But then, you know, white's a little bit more active than if we played bishop d7. And of course, Pietro plays bishop d7. Boom, exclam. Only move, apparently. And the engine approves of this more than it did before. Earlier, it was like, oh, this is minus 0.7. Now it's minus 1.1. We're living the dream. Sitting on hands is very good practice against impulsive moves. You recommend it to children learning chess. Do you teach chess, Berlin? I feel like you're good at explaining chess in chat as well. So yeah, I feel that. Could bishop d7 work? This is what we were saying, Jad. So I think you've just come in, but we were saying bishop d7 is the superior move, and I got talked out of bishop b7. I don't understand what I'm getting. That sounds like a good thing about Pietro, so I'm just gonna roll with it. Just like, yeah, Pietro rocks. He has been killing it so far. Also, guys, check out this accuracy from him. 100% accuracy so far. Pietro is in his flow state. I can feel it, you know. He's like tapping. He's got the chess genes on as well, which I'm a huge fan of. Huge fan of. Yeah, so because yeah, I don't know if you saw, but bishop d7 has this like knight c5 trick. We go rook c8, takes. If we take the knight, there's rook takes b7, queen b7, and bishop takes, which is not ideal. Not ideal. Now it's still okay, but it's not. It's nowhere near what we had, and we've kind of lost everything that we wanted. Yeah, everything. It's just a shame. It gets a bit trickier for us. So yeah. Because also, I was just playing bishop b7 out of a pure strategic mindset of attack kingside. I didn't actually even look at the calculations. And the thing is, I was like, oh, well, we've got to go queen c7. Because if we go bishop c7 now, then there's knight c5. But actually, there's still knight c5, even after we go queen c7. So I need to keep looking at these tactics. So yeah, there are ways out. You don't have to take the knight, and we can play rook c8, but yeah. Okay, so what are we looking at? f5, bishop takes c6, e4, something like that, instead of bishop d7. So here. No, but there's a check on e4. So if we do this, check. And you're good. You just move the queen. We offer a trade. Or go queen e3. Ah, there's bishop e5, so maybe we... Queen g3. And then, whoops. f4. And then we're protecting the bishop. Oh, okay. Almost blundered the queen. Did blunder the queen, ever so slightly. But yeah, this is more practical. This is easier. Makes sense. No, it's you always look at these things and then you go, okay, then what move have they got after? So after you see that, you saw the idea, and then you go, okay, after takes e4, what can they play? Are there any forcing moves? And the thing is, yes, they have bishop e4 check. And so the key thing is, like, do they have any checks after that? And when you see the check, you're like, okay, then I move. The queen is under attack, so the queen moves. Have I got any other attacks or double attacks? No. Okay, I can probably disregard that line. Yeah, I agree. You're not terrible. Like, the fact that you saw this will win games because this tactic will work at times. It just so happened there was a check, and you opened yourself up for the check with f5. If the king was on h8, it would work. So you should always be checking these. So if we waste some moves, I don't know, like here, here, here. Here. All right, so if this was the position, I just wasted a bunch of moves to make this the position. If I bishop hit takes now. Oh, wait. We need a move. My bad. Oh, I didn't even need to waste the moves as much as I did. Hang on. F5 bishop c6. So I need a move. I need to go here. I need another move. Let's say here. Okay, here. All right, if we go f5 takes push, then it's a different story. But it is also just an even trade. Anyways, sorry guys. c4 played. I think this makes some sense because then you can try and get bishop d5, and then you lock in your own outpost, which is a really solid way to play. The question is now, like, what is our approach? Sorry, let's put it on. So let's analyze a bunch. Bishop b7 isn't natural to you. Oh, wow. Bishop b7 is so natural to me. If I push b6, it's like, well, that's a spot my bishop can go. Rook c8 unpins the knight. Exactly. I felt like there were 1,000 people watching. No. Oh, were you playing? c4 knight e7. Rook c8 is fine. Rook unpins the knight. Yeah. So c4. Berlin's suggesting knight e7, which I also wholeheartedly agree. Like I was saying, plans bishop d5, knight e7 says no. This is fascinating. So b5, knight e7, bishop takes a8. What's your game plan, though? I need to figure this out. Apparently, knight e7 is an exclam. So bishop c6, bishop takes, knight takes. Are you saying that we don't need the rook? b5, knight e7. Bishop takes, bishop c6, queen takes. Oh, I'm a little bit lost as to knight e7. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see it. I don't see it, Berlin. Oh, you mean after rook c8 now? Okay. I was like, knight c. Pietro is 1719 currently. 1719. I think he was 17. I think that might be his live rating as well. He's 1728, FIDE. Sorry, 1728. And he's lost. His live rating is 1719. How is this 100% accuracy? He's played optimal moves. I think he's played really good moves. Um, yeah, the engine changed its mind because actually it offered Queen C7 earlier. When I wanted B6, it still wants B6. So yeah, we're good. Bishop D7, great move. C4, good move from our opponent. And now I think just rook C8. We want to pile up on this, and then, as Berlin suggested, knight E7 is great. There is weakness. We attack weakness. I mean, his moves are logical. That's a really great thing about this opening choice. It's actually like I found all the moves to be fairly logical. You're also unrated. Ah, cool. You're 1918 online. Nice, Jad. Good job. Wasn't watching yesterday. How many games did Pietro win? He won one yesterday and drew another. So he's on 1.5 out of 4 as it stands. So he needs to win this to get on a 50% score. So yeah, but he looks on form. It looks good. It looks hard for his opponent to play. And now his opponent needs to figure out what the heck they need to do. I know he wants bishop d5, but as Berlin suggested, knight e7, boom. He needs to get another rook into the game. Maybe try and create some pressure on this pawn. Who knows? But we are feeling good. I also did wonder about c5 in general. I think c5 is a nice move to play because you're trying to damage the structure of black's pawns. But you do weaken a lot of things. I'm even wondering if we go knight d4, takes, and then we can figure out if we want to take like this or not. But I don't think we do. I like the ideas of knight e7 and stuff. Because it also, if there is this, we get this. And that feels pretty juicy to me. Yeah, you can try and say that you're coming in, but we take with check. And then everything falls. So again, things to calculate and work out. You're watching in the hotel. Nice. One win, one draw. Yes. I think c5 first and bc5, knight c5, knight d4 wins a piece. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to go to the loo real quick. I will be right back. Be right back. Okay, we're back. You think you should also play a rapid game or report the results after 20 minutes? Good luck, almighty. Good luck. Okay, so we had c4 and rook a c8. Nice and easy. Both players looking real chill right now. But Pietro's position is great. We love Pietro's position. White is probably in a bit of a conundrum because it's like, what do I actually do in this position? So I'm going to look at it from their angle while we analyze. Oh, there we go. And there are a bunch of questions. You don't want to trade this light squared bishop for a knight. That would not go down well. Yeah, there's a lot of potential here. How are we going to defend this pawn is a big question. It's a mammoth question to think about. I think c5 is the only kind of like choice that I would try and make logically. But just to damage pawns, because if takes, then this becomes way less weak, right? And then I'm feeling okay. But we still get like this large central pawn idea, because then we can even think about something like knight d4, and then we can get like a really nice pawn center. I don't know where I go as white though. This is the thing. Maybe just target the pawn. But then we can also step forward. Like it starts getting harder and harder and harder. It gets really hard. Knight c5. And then I just like knight d4. Takes. Rook up. I think we just like we just chill. Rook c7. Like I'm finding this really hard from white's perspective as well. Sometimes it's easier when you switch, but hey Matt, will Cole be back? Hey, stop it. But to be honest, you guys are the best, no comparison. You guys, I'm one guy. Pietro is winning on time too. Yeah, his opponent's in dire straits. This position is tough. This is a really, really tough position to be in. Especially, it's felt like he got caught out of the opening quite early. And also, the hard thing to come to terms with a game like this is like, has he done anything wrong particularly? No. And also, thank you for following, apparently, DMA. I appreciate it a lot. I appreciate it, bro. Bro. And also, you've taken me from 1069 to 1070. Just an important transitional number there. We've matured with your follow. So, I recommend the most common mistake by GM Igor Simonov on YouTube. One video gave me plus 100 elo. Is that that one video gave you 100 elo? As in for just like developing learning chess, or like I need is it just telling us the most common mistakes? I'm intrigued. If you want, I can give you permission. You can post a link in chat if that's all right, Berlin. What is Pietro's opponent's results in the tournament? That's a great question. I can't actually see on Chess.com because he hasn't been on DGT board every round. I will have to look that up. So Sebastian, let's have a look. Main statement: to take is a mistake. I mean, when there's tension, usually yes. But I don't know, man. That's some loose advice. But he is a GM and I am not, so you know. Um, okay, let's have a look at the Group C1. I believe he's in. To be honest, you don't know. You don't know what Jad's chess tips. You've got chess tips in the name. I feel like you have good knowledge. Okay, so Sebastian. He's also on 1.5. So they are both on 1.5, which is the usual. Sebastian's Federation is, I'm actually not sure, SUI. Yeah, so Pietro is playing Sebastian at the moment. Great. Yes, they're both on 1.5. So we get Rook F D8, D1. Every time, man. Every time. Rook F D1. Which is definitely a good move. Now we maybe think about like Bishop E6. We target the pawn. Because also Bishop E6, Bishop D5 takes. Probably isn't the one, but Bishop C6, Bishop D5, knight here, takes. Yeah, okay. So what I'm trying to figure out is if we go Bishop E6 and Bishop D5, do we then want to go knight here? Takes. Because then if Bishop takes, we kind of have this like pawn structure in the center, and then this is weak. So I'm not 1,000,000% sure on that. But we also have Bishop D6, C5 as a consideration. And then we can go knight in the middle, takes, pawn takes. And then our pawn structure also isn't great, but we are going to pick up this pawn. So let's have a quick look at that. C5. But there's knight takes here and here. Oh no, we take with check first, obviously. So yeah, that's fine, and we pick this up. So I need to pick out of that. So you probably don't want to take. So maybe you're right. I think bishop takes c6 is wrong for white. Bishop takes c6 is definitely wrong for white. I can attest to that. Blood thinks he's Hikaru. What, me? Did I say c6? I said bishop e6. I think Pietro should start trading because we have a lot of weaknesses. I think there's a limit to how much you want to trade because a rook endgame, for example, this is very drawish. Black would be pressing, but it's drawish. So bishop e6. That's what I was saying, not c6, Bishop e6. C5. Kind of interesting. So bishop e6 is an idea. I'm just wondering if knight d4 is an idea at all. It doesn't feel like it because after takes, and then bishop here, things get kind of annoying. I'd be half tempted to go bishop c5, c6 here, because then I force a trade, right? What am I missing? Rook fd8 first. Right, yeah. It's all going wrong. I know, this is very tough to play. It's getting very tough to play. But I mean, it's still very easy for things to slip in towards like drawish or equalish positions. I think we once we start trading, once the optimum time to start trading happens, then I think we just start picking up pawns. Pietro has so much time. His opponent also, the time factor, guys, super important. So on Chess Dojo, we actually have a clock time rating, so you can get ratings on your time usage, and like it's amazing how accurate that is in terms of wins and losses. How did I not run out? I have run out of coffee praise. This is an uncaffeined mat you've got right now. Trust me, this is not good. I will be going to the shop in between rounds to buy new ground coffee. Yeah, I can't do instant coffee anymore. It's like one of those. It's one of those days. All right. Oh. Ah. Right. Oh, stretchy stretch. Guys, you need to remind me to like move. Otherwise, I will be sat in this chair all day just doing chess commentary, which is fine. I'm here for it. I'm very much here for it. Every day is 2 rounds. Yes, it's like so grueling. Also, you burn more like calories in chess than you do going to the gym. It's crazy. Different type of calories. It's brain calories. Hello, whoever you are. Hello, sub. I can't pronounce the rest of your name, so I'm just gonna say sub. Hey, welcome in. Hope you're doing well, dude. Was that Is this your first time in the chat? You've been following for a little while. You've been following for like a week. It's not your first time chat, so let's go. Hey, Jad. Welcome in. Welcome back. Not much has changed. We're still waiting. We are still waiting. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. I feel like I would have shouted you out before if you have chatted before, but yeah, I have a brain like a sieve, so apologies. So, but we are in the midst. Pietro is crushing it so far. He's been playing such a great game. He obviously knows the themes and ideas. He avoided one small tactical skirmish that came from an open Sicilian, old kind of variation. And his opponent goes knight b3, and this is like the key move that is being punished right now, all the way down 14 moves later, which is pretty cool. Hey, Twisted, my guy, coming in with a first time message. We love to see it. So yeah, all of this is kind of normal opening stuff, but the knight being on b3, I'm just going to skip to it. We damage the pawn structure. You want to take the pawn because you don't want to trade the dark squared bishops, because our pawn structure can sit very nicely on dark squares and make this bishop feel a bit useless. Blah, 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 blah. So we zip through the game, and then b6 comes, and this knight actually can't really do anything. So this knight is very unvaluable, invaluable, not valuable. This knight sucks. So this knight sucks, which is great. Snack break. Oh, I need snacks. Anyway, in between rounds, I will go get coffee and snacks. Bishop e4, saying like, all right, cool, we're going to put some pressure, get a little bit of a pin on. Queen c7 defends, and then queen f3 going, nah, bro. We're going for it. Now, not a mistake. This is not a mistake, but the more accurate move is bishop d7, which Pietro found, because if you go bishop b7, there's some sneaky little tactics. And we actually have to go rook c8. Because if we take, there's rook takes b7, queen takes b7, and bishop takes c6, and you pick all the exchange stuff back up. I think maybe even queen b2, queen c8. Oh no, we have to do something like this. And we're doing me, you know. So in any case, Pietro saw this and just opts for bishop c7, which is the way. And then c4 comes, and we're just putting pressure on the weaknesses on the queen side. Quick little recap for you guys there. Surprising, I've been here a few times. Yeah, I thought I'd stood out, but apparently that is your first time message. So Twitch is telling me your first time message. So I never like to assume. But I'm sorry, Twisted. I feel like you have chatted as well. Can I see? Like, there should be like a chat history, no? Yeah, there is a chat history. You said, "Oh, it's Matt." I'm fine. What about you? Yeah, right. Twitch is full of. Hmm. Do you follow and unfollow or something? I don't know. You've got 8 messages in the bank, bro. I'm sorry, Twisted. How dare I? How dare I? How you doing, dude? Twisted Lemon. Also, because how can you not remember a name like Twisted Lemon? You know, just like some streamers, some lemons aren't worth the squeeze. Uh, I'm sorry, dude. I was not worth the squeeze today. Don't know where that came from, but anyways, Twitch might have caught me as a bot with my lurk history. Lol. We love a good lurk. If there are no D pawns in the Kalashnikov Sicilian, Black's position will be great. I don't know anything about the Kalashnikov specifically, as you could probably tell from the commentary the other day. I'm also assuming that this was like a Kalashnikov then, but like knight b3 is incorrect. Yeah. Oh no, Sveshnikov. This is Sveshnikov because of knight b3 probably. Oh no, because so very similar, Sveshnikov and Kalashnikov. Okay. But yeah, our position is doing well. Pietro looks very locked in. I mean, he's very posture check, Matt. Come on. Get the posture right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, the look away from the board, he's calculating. He's got some plans in mind. I'm intrigued to see what he's thinking. And he's like, I think he thinks he should be better, but he's looking at some variations and maybe worrying about some stuff. So I think long think, wrong think is always a thing, but he's got so much time. He should chill. I think this is a good sign though. His body language is like he knows he's better. He's trying to find out why and punish. I think he's played very normal moves for his opening, and he's like, yeah, this is working out for me. Knight d4 is not so handy. I was looking at this before, so I think knight d4. The queen trade will have a lot of open files, and the bishop a little trade. I don't know if we want to trade pieces just yet though. So for example, knight d4, I think it's still good. We have knight takes d4, b takes d4. C5 is a move that's kind of interesting, but to try and like break up pawns, because we either play queen takes, which then loses because we get skewered. So like a nice little tactic. Although our position is pretty good, it's not even that losing. It's not even that losing because we have the bishop pair, so I think that's not too bad. But yeah, we don't want to do it, and then so we have b takes, and then we just work with these pawns. So it's not like terrible, but yeah, it gets a bit harder. The bishop pairs for both sides. Yeah, it can be kind of tricky. He wants to push f5. So this was not on my radar at all. He wants f5, but he doesn't want bishop e4. But I don't see the problem. Because bishop e4 can just come anyway, but maybe he's just trying to provoke it, right? So maybe he's going king h1 and say, come at me. This is a very obscure move to me. I'm trying to figure out why, but the only consideration I have is that he wants f4 or he wants to do this kind of ideas and open up the G file and attack, which might not be the right plan, but I'm assuming he wants f5. Yeah, this is a weird move. I don't quite fully grasp the concepts, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know. Because you're gonna have to move it anyway. You might as well just go for f4, check, king h1, then you move. But now it's like if you go here and here, it's the same scenario. So yeah, I think this is the wrong play because all of the plays on the queen side for us. That's my assumption though. Anyone else got any ideas? Why he may have gone king h8? I've been saying h1. Please call me out on my. Yeah. White has bishop pair. We both have bishop pair in fairness though. Like what you said before, but I think knight d4 was better because it. Yeah. I don't see how knight d4 does the queen trade though. You think knight d4 was better because it asks for a trade and open the queen. Oh, and opens the queen, not a queen trade. Yeah, it's got you. King h8 is weird. I would have just preferred I think I would have even just preferred a little h5 or something. I don't know. Yeah, h5 isn't great, but a5, a5. King h8, I do not understand. Let's just play a waiting move for white, and see what black should do. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what our plan is at all. Oh, we have f4. I mean, it's a plan. And countering it could be kind of hard. Because he's just trying to storm, right? King h8. Bishop c3 now. Because I wanted that before, but it didn't work. So now I go bishop c3, which is kind of annoying. And if you keep going, you can't do this because we take. I think black's position is still kind of weirdly doing all right. We have space, there is still weakness. Our pieces are getting to good squares. Yeah. Can we get away with taking this? Oh, I hang on d7. I hang the bishop on d7. Sure. All right. Well, yeah. Interesting choice of moves. We do get bishop d5 before f4 comes. F4 must be the plan. F5, sorry, must be the plan. I mean, it's double-edged, but I like the aggressive playstyle. I really do. I don't think it's... I actually don't think it's a bad plan at all. It's more that it feels wrong to me. I can't really disprove it hugely. I currently can't disprove it. And the eval still says we're doing all right. Oh, he's come back with coffee. I need it so bad, man. I need some coffee. Who do you think will win? Well, this position is about to get spicy. I think f5 is coming. And this is yeah, man. If f5 comes, it could go any way. I actually think f5 is still tricky to deal with, but I've also got to take the clock time into account. You hope Pietro wins. He's played a nice opening and a nice middle game and the bishop pair. I mean, they both got bishop pair still. So I wouldn't call it the bishop pair until you have the like having the bishop pair is an advantage when your opponent doesn't. Right? So I would say I haven't got the bishop pair yet. I will have the bishop pair when I'm the only one. Who do I think will win? Well, to be honest, f5 is good enough to muddy the waters and make your opponent tank. You've got, like, hopefully. But that said, does it make it easy for him to play moves? Bishop c3, I think, is a key move. That it makes it easier to feel like it should be played. Really interesting. And then after this, what does Pietro do? Right? 97? I don't know. After this, what does he do? I mean, you can still push. You can definitely still push. We can go here. We can take. I quite like trading, but I also, let's say we don't trade. We opt not to trade. Okay, we traded. Yeah, it gets double-edged, and like suddenly Pietro could end up tanking his own time as well. This is also the problematic thing. Huh. Like, these bishops are really good. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what he does. F5 is bold. Is super bold. He might also have just said, like, I'm baiting you. I'm gonna go knight 97, and then I'll take the bishop, please. Which is also, I think, a very reasonable decision. And again, he can still opt for stuff like this. It's not as good this time around, though. And you don't really want to take here just yet. So maybe it's a bait. Maybe it's all a big bait. And he's just like... trying to bait his opponent. But, like, I don't know. King h8, the only reason is to get out of this pin. And why would you want to get out of the pin? Because you want to push f5. 97, yeah. I think 97 is a... Hey, Matt, who do you think... yeah. I don't know who's going to win. As far as the game has gone so far, I think Pietro. But he's about to maybe play very boldly, which could go either way. It's a big master bait. Only fools will bait. Yeah, I like 97. I also like 97. I agree with you, Twisted. But we'll see. We'll see.
I will see you.
Alrighty. Here we go. I can hear myself somewhere. Bishop f5 is also possible. Black queen covers f7. Interesting. But again, still the reasoning for king h8 feels strange, right? So king h8, if you're playing king h8, you must have had a plan in mind. Then we go knight e7 maybe. So we do this and this, we're doing pretty nice, I think. But maybe you come back, bishop back here or something. Oh no, but then we lose c2. Yeah. Or even this maybe. I've got to be careful. Got to be careful. But I think it's fine. I mean, he's having, like, maybe, again, this is a very committal move, so you should have a long think, but, you know, keep your time advantage. How long has he spent on this move? It's not telling me, annoyingly. It used to tell me how long each move was. I'm just going to reload and see. F5, bishop c3 and knight e7. Yeah. Yeah, we're threatening this. F5 is on the board. All right. Let's go. Let's go, Pietro. This is huge. So, F5, bishop c3, knight e7. Although knight e7 isn't that much of a threat just yet. So bishop c3, knight e7. We can still take here. So this is the problem. No, it isn't because we take with check. So we've got time, but things are getting awkward for white. Knight e7. I probably do this. Because if knight takes, we play queen takes. But then we get just like attacked. Oh no, we don't get the pawn. We do get the pawn. This is tough stuff. This is tough stuff. Yeah. This is hard to deal with. Let's look at it from white's perspective. How do we deal with f5? I mean, maybe we can take, but we could also go bishop g5. Idea being, knight e7 we can take, and we're doing pretty well. I think it's e4 is still annoying, yeah? Not a terrible idea. I don't know what the punishment is yet. Because this does not work out well for us. We suffer. We suffer big time. Like this is hard to defend. So this should take some thinking time. I actually think this is a really good decision, even on like a time usage level. Like our opponent has a lot to figure out here. And it could take him a long time to like come up with an adequate defense. Because I'm struggling to see a defense. I haven't looked at what the computer says yet in terms of lines, but okay, so the top two moves are bishop c3 and h4 is the top choice, which makes a lot of sense to me because the king is weak. Like, but black is still doing really well in all of this. Like, f5 is not a bad plan at all. The king h8 stuff, kind of crazy, but like, I'm here for it. So he goes bishop c3. Okay, his opponent's playing relatively quickly though, so Pietro still needs to have a good think. Knight e7 is practically annoying. Oh, but there's always rook takes as well. So knight e7, we actually always have rook takes. Actually, bishop b4. I missed this. Knight e7, bishop b4. Oh, hang on. That's annoying. That's really annoying. This is hard to see. But bishop b4 and bishop f7. Oof. This is a very tricky defense. Let's have a look from this side. Yeah. Crazy tricky. And we lost. And we are lost. But material-wise, that's a really interesting game. Interesting. Bishop b4, rook, good luck for Pietro, yeah. Okay, bye, see you, dude. f5, it's huge steps. That pawn on e5 hasn't moved the entire game. Nor should it need to. It's doing a great job. Okay, knight e7, bishop b4 is a really good shout. It's still hard though. My concern is Pietro's going to use a lot of time now. The good thing is he's playing very confidently, very aggressively. Can we try bishop b7? Oh, it's only one good square. Actually, let's not give him the file. I don't know how to evaluate this position. Engine says slightly better for black. I suppose we gain the pair. We gain the bishop pair. We've got a nice outpost here, maybe. I don't know how to evaluate this position. Rook c e8. Ah, okay, yeah, so let's try that. Thing is, then we lose some of our ideas and tactics, I think. We'll protect the pawn. There's just weakness, so much weakness on the queen side. But this is also why we didn't need to do all of this. Like, we can just keep attacking the weaknesses, I think. I mean, I love it. I love it. But Pietro's using more time than his opponent at the moment. And the thing is, if his opponent spots a resource, which he may do in the position, like knight e7 feels like the move, and then bishop b4, and then you need to make sure you've considered all of the options, and there might be another little move like that, and then suddenly you've like burnt all your time. You're on the same time level, and you had a time advantage. And the purpose of this was also to try and make your opponent burn time. I don't know. I think Pietro feels kind of comfortable in this position. This is the first game of the day, Chess Burns. This is the first game of the day. I need some fuel, for sure. We could all do with some fuel. Guys, am I also streaming in the chess category? Oh my god, I'm not in the chess category. What an idiot. I'm in the wrong chess category. How did that happen? Uh, no. So annoying. Why is there more than one chess category? You took such a beautiful nap. Oh, that's so nice. Hey, Duck Gang, how are you? How are you? I hate restream. Restream needs to sort that stuff out. That's annoying. Okay. Are we now in the right chess category? We are, we are, we are. Cool. All right. That's a little bit annoying, not gonna lie. Amazing. Thank you so much for the follow. I really, really appreciate it. Um, I'm just getting back to my normal OBS and everything so I can actually see what's going on. Um, thank you, Aline. I appreciate it. Okay, guys, back to the chess. So Pietro is gonna have a big thing. I think it just has to be 97. It's the only move that makes sense to me. Unless there's some move order stuff of like, because we were looking at 97, bishop b4, rook e8. So maybe we could do that beforehand. So, or maybe there's even like rook e8 first, and then there's no bishop b4, and then what do you do, right? c5, maybe rook here, knight here again. Ah, but it's still bishop f7, so yeah, maybe it always has to be this other rook. Maybe it always has to be this other rook. What else? I mean, if you... The problem is he spent such a long time considering f5. And again, it's not showing me his move times, which is a little bit annoying. That he should have calculated and should be ready and prepared to meet. It's always good to double check. I get that, but you should really be prepared to meet this without spending too much time. But he might have refuted his own line, and then it's just going, okay, I might need to play something different. You're in Taiwan for vacation. That's amazing. Leaving tomorrow. Nice. If black doesn't pack enough counterpunch, probably in trouble. Yeah, I mean it's not a counterpunch because they were on the forefront. So if the attack dwindles, then they're in trouble. White will counterpunch. Um, but I still think it is hard for white to really like nail it. Do I think the Danish Gambit is a good opening? Um, I'm the wrong person to ask because I've never played the Danish Gambit nor played against it. I'm an E6 player as black. So I circumvent some of this. 97 played. Great. We love to see it. And the thing with 97 now, what are we trying to do? Obviously, there are some threats. We want to take the bishop and then take the pawn on c4. So we take on d5 and then take on c4. That would be amazing. But actually, if we take on d5, we can't take on c4 imminently because our bishop would hang. So we take on d5 and then the bishop has to move. And then maybe we start attacking in different ways and then we can start corralling pawns. But well, maybe that is absolutely okay. But yeah, bishop b4 is like a key move here, I think. I don't see what our opponent has otherwise. He might spend a bit of time here, but he should have also been using Pietro's time to calculate as well. So this is a really, really interesting way to play. Yeah, that's the thing. I think bishop b4, and then it's a little bit cumbersome how you proceed. And I think bishop b4 is very findable because you're worried about knight takes d5, and you've just vacated the b4 square. I would hope that the opponent of this level would see bishop b4. And yeah, like you say, there's also c5 ideas. Exactly. Hey, chessboard. You found a factual line. You think, all right, Duck, what's your line? Let's have a look. I'm assuming bishop b4. Tactical line. Okay, show me. What's your tactical line? I'll put it on the board. We'll see. So bishop b4, okay, c8, c5. You could try e4, I guess. Queen a3. Oh, we don't have queen a3. So we got to go that queen here or something. Okay. Maybe not. I don't know. We got nice pawns, but I think white's doing okay. Or e4. c5, knight takes d5. Or we can play queen takes or rook takes. I think queen takes has threats of taking on d7, and it gets a little scary. Oh yeah, because we just snap. And then we get the knight in, maybe. Or even... Yeah, because takes and we like so we might have to. How do we protect this bishop? We don't. We move it. We move it. And I think like we have the bishop pair, so I think black's still actually doing good, and the bishops are really like good defensively. But yeah, bishop e6 I like, and then also we're just skewering everything. Bishop c6. But I still I think it's actually kind of hard for black to maybe mess up, despite it feeling super loose. It's actually kind of okay. I think it's very easy for the opponent. I think our opponent has to play a little bit precisely, as do we. But I think the moves get easier to find after bishop b4, and I know c5 is the critical move our opponent needs to find. I think c5 is really important after the bishop in the bishop b4 lines. Bishop c6, queen d6, rook f7. So bishop c6, queen d6, rook f7. And then I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Bishop b4, queen. So hang on. Queen e3. There is a lot of potential lines. Knight d5. Bishop takes f8. Why would you allow taking the queen? Why would you allow taking the queen? Yeah, I think there's I think you need this first. And then we just move the rook. Current position. Yeah, you said bishop b4, e4. This is your line. You said knight takes d5. Oh, queen e3 and knight takes d5. And then bishop takes f8, which doesn't. So the current position is this. Bishop b4. I wonder if he'll find bishop b4. Because that's the kind of thing, once you see it, you kind of feel like it has to be the right move. It deals with the problem, the main problem you have. But there is also bishop b4, knight d5, bishop takes f8, knight c3. Oh no, there isn't knight c3 because you haven't taken the knight. I lied. I thought I had something. I was wondering if you could give up the exchange even, or think about giving up the exchange. But you cannot. Yeah, brutal. Okay. Computer says e4 is possible. Yeah, it says it's possible. But where's the queen going? I think maybe we offer a queen trade. Nope. But in any case, our opponent is now on 13 minutes, which is good. This is great. Oh, okay. He plays queen e3. And now I think we just take. Rook takes and bishop e6. Ah, but there is some bishop takes. Shenanigans. Well, we can play takes, rook takes. We can also takes, rook takes, takes. I suppose. Ah, no, but the rook's hanging. The rook's hanging. Yeah. Whoops. We're fine. The big question is do we care about the light square bishop anymore? It feels like we're getting it with activity, which is kind of annoying. But we get activity too. I think this is quite forcing now. I mean, we can protect the pawn also, and then look to get the bishop involved. But bishop e6, rook takes. Takes. I don't know, I just want to take on c4. We can try. It feels like it's time. The question is like you allow a rook on the 7th, but we're up. We're up the material. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Dumb. It's not that trivial to convert though. There's a lot of work to be done in this endgame. There is work to be done. We just made them. Whoops. I don't like this. I don't like allowing him in. I don't know. I don't know about this. What happened? All right, so a lot's happened. I don't know whether you were here when F4 was played, but F5 was played, but F5 was like power move. And then we get knight e7 and queen e3, which is good for us. Bishop b4 probably needed to be played. But I think knight takes d5 is the simplest way to go through stuff. But we get into a rook endgame, which could peter out into a draw as well. So knight takes, rook takes, queen takes, rook takes, queen takes. I guess you can go queen d3 as well if you want. This is the way. This is the way we do it. Similar kind of position. But yeah, we have a bishop. We can create the passer. I don't know. It feels good, but it's, again, a lot of work. Hard to evaluate. You realize that we have a big difference in playstyles. Everyone has a big difference in playstyles. That said, when you're doing commentary, you don't play your own playstyle particularly necessarily. The opponent has 30 minutes left, so that is good. You think f4 is the move? Oof. Seems like queen trade might favor white. Yeah, maybe. And what time is the next round? The next round starts in 3 hours, I think. 3 hours from now. Matt has a completely positional and defensive playstyle. How dare you? How dare you? Have you not seen my rapid run recently? I've been sacking pieces left, right, and center. But a lot of my play is winning lost positions. So yeah, I don't know. It's how I got told never to resign, so I never did. And so I win stuff that I shouldn't. Like I take that stuff literally. Like, don't resign, guys. You will win. You will learn to win. You're more aggressive. There's aggressive and then there's aggressive. I would say I'm becoming a more dynamic player. There we go. How many days will the tournament be? This is the last day of the tournament. This is the last day. So what's the deal with f4? I think f4 is a good idea. What, and then knight d5? What's your game plan after this? Good. Yeah, he wasn't 100% accuracy, but he's gone for this like crazy play, and I love it. I love it so much. The kickstart the kingside attack. Yeah, but how are you at? So okay, we're saying f4. Then what? Give me a line. Give me a line, Duck Gang. Let's have a look. All right. Okay. I'll let you calculate. I'll let you calculate. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. There are some advantages to keeping the pawn duo. Yeah, exactly. Well, as soon as you push f4, you weaken e5. That's my only concern. But then we still might get f4, queen e2, takes, rook e8, and then we can start looking at pushing. So let's just have a look. Queen e5 takes. Oh, we just lose a bishop, so we can't do that. Takes, rook e8. And then I kind of get it. Rook d1. Bishop c6. I mean, they are moving. I can't deny the pawns are moving for sure. Oh, hello. Dynamic. I mean, black does have all the play. I commend Pietro for this. Did he need to go king h8 to do this, though? So if he went here, check, king h8, white to move. But you went king h8 here, push, white to move. Same. It would have been the same if he just pushed f5 anyway. He's a beast. Knight takes d5 and rook e8 with Sveshnikov like ideas. Be happy that you found that. See, knight takes d5. You got it. What about f4, queen e2, bishop f5, c5, rook f8? So, okay. f4, queen e2, knight d5. Rook d5. Bishop c6. Followed by f3. Oh, yeah, we looked at that. What about e4 after knight takes d5? Takes an e4. e4 isn't loved as much. I think because we get bishop g7, king g7, and then we can move freely. Because we get this check. If we want. Or this check. Maybe better. Okay. So yeah, potentials. Oh, guys, he played f4. He played f4. Where's white's queen? I can't see it on the board. Where's both of our queens? How did he trade queens? There's a queen trade that's happened somehow. Am I going mad? Okay. Oh, the video is way ahead. My God. Guys, tell me when this stuff happens. I was just looking at Pietro, like his just general reactions. How did the video get so far ahead? Wow. Okay. Needs to go down to 27. Okay. But he has good time. Okay, it's coming. Okay. This complicates things. It is crazy. Okay, I think I'm a little bit behind, so. Okay, he played queen e2. Which is a good move. All right, beautiful. We're synced up again. We're synced up. Happy Sunday, Sam. How are you doing? Welcome in. Alrighty. Queen e2. Now, I like knight takes d5 personally because you therefore have to take with the rook. Knight d5, rook d5. The question is, do we take on c4? I quite like just taking on c4, simplifying. But we can also go bishop c6, bishop e6. Bishop e6 feels kind of good. But then there's bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes. So that probably actually like doesn't do much. And then we've lost this nice e5 pawn. That was doing a lot for us. Like a real lot for us. And then we're kind of solid here. I actually think rook f5 is the play. Now that you say it. And now we go rook f5. Knight e2 protecting the pawn. And then we have bishop c6, which is really nice. This is, yeah, really, really nice. Oh, we don't want to do that. Oh, they make some trades. Okay, so we see. The question is do we take on c4? Do we play rook f5 as another suggestion? Rook e8 to hold the pawn? Otherwise, we haven't really got anything else. I don't think there's any bishop c6 or bishop e6. But Zoomja, I like your rook f5. That's kind of interesting. Because what is black doing? What is white doing now? You know? This would be a great way to kill the game. I don't know. Tricky. It's all very tricky. There's a lot to consider. But we might end up just going into a queen trade. I think we're going to take on c4. That, like, in game as well, when there's so much pressure, sometimes that's just easier. Sometimes it's just easier. Like, there is a world where I could see this becoming a draw. What about bishop e6, rook e5, bishop takes c4? But rook takes e5 in this position? We just take the rook. Ah, no, we can't. Oh, bishop e6, sorry. Bishop e6, rook c5. Bishop takes c4. Ah, yeah. I like that. I like it. Is there some rook e7 with bishop takes threats? Not really, no. All right, fine. There are some problems. There are some problems. Maybe we've got to do something like this. Feels hard to readily accept any line that allows the white rook to the 7th, but maybe that's playable. Yeah, that's it, right? I think it is, but also you realize, like, it feels like it's becoming more equal. I think that I can allow the rook on the 7th. I would be kind of okay maybe with that. But I think getting the dark squared bishop is kind of worth it. Um, oh, hang on, wait. Sorry, takes. And maybe we think about, well, we take on e2 first, rook d1. I don't know what I'm doing with my bishop now. This is the problem. I would love to get it here, but... Oh, okay. Whoops. I know, bishop b4. Then there's problems. Big problems. Why rook e1 instead of rook d1? Why not rook e? Because rook e1, we're just trying to hold this pawn from pushing. Because as soon as it pushes, then it's going to allow a passer. So like, I think rook d1. We push e4. Then rook e7. I think we can just go bishop a6. Actually, no, even just like bishop c3. Because we're guarding this square. So if you wanna come and do this, then fine. There's some weird tactics here. Rook takes check. Up. Here. So is there like some weird... Oh yeah, you can't... If you take, I take this... And we're good. I don't know. It's kind of trappy. So he's having a long think. Our times are getting much closer though. How much of a rating increase if Pietro wins? I think 8. Or maybe a little bit... Yeah, around about 8. 8 points or so. Because they're about the same rating. So I think he... Or between +4 and +8. I can't remember how it works out. But... Pietro is better. Pietro is better and has been for the duration of the game. So hopefully he can convert. But yeah, I think this is a big decision. So it's good that he's spending time, but... So f3, queen e5, bishop e5, bishop e6. It's black to move currently. So I can't push f3. So black needs to... Oh, sorry, it's black to move. Sorry, yeah, I thought you were talking about white as f3. Yeah, of course. You can't play queen e5 because you play bishop takes e5. Ah, but then bishop takes e5. I see. I get you. Queen e5, bishop e5, bishop e6, bishop takes g7 check, king g7. This is nice. Rook d2. Bishop takes c4. Yeah, that feels good. I mean, rook takes c4 also. I like that the d7 square is defended by the bishop, so I kind of like rook takes c4 a little bit more. Maybe I'm worried. Yeah, okay. Okay, Pietro takes on c4. This is the easiest line to calculate. So he might have been looking down a lot of variations and then come back to this, because that's what I would have done. This would have been my first line and been like, okay, I see this. Okay. We get some trades in quickly. So this is how the queens came off the board. Yeah, there we go. And we'll get rook takes d7, rook takes c3. Ah, there is an intermezzo. I missed an intermezzo. Bishop e5. Bishop e5. Yeah, this is looking a bit more equal than it was. Maybe rook f7. Interesting. I missed bishop e5 entirely. I didn't consider. I just traded down. Hey, chessboard. If I'm white, I love to keep that king on h8, at least until I get a rook on the 7th. Yeah, 100%. We're all hoping for it, Pietro. We're all there for you. Bishop e5, trade the bishop, then rook takes c2, and Pietro is winning a pawn. No, because then Pietro loses a piece, I think. Oh, no, he doesn't lose a piece, but rook c2 and rook e7 is really annoying. Suddenly it's a little annoying. Bishop takes e5, e5 has come. Bishop c6 is a nice intermezzo, I do think. Yeah, this is going to be a hard one. This is going to be hard. Hmm. All right, Pietro. Where's Pietro at? Come on, dude. Get back to the board. He heard me. He heard me. He probably had to run to the loo and like legged it back. This game though, man. What a fight. What a fight. We'll see. I know. I think it's looking quite equal nowish. Like black definitely has some form of edge, but as soon as the rook gets on the seventh, it feels like black shouldn't have an edge, which is a bit nuts. Engine is obviously giving us something, but bishop takes e5 is the main thing. And then I'm assuming we just take on c2, or we sort of go rook a4, so we protect this pawn, and then we'll try pick up this pawn, which is a kind of fun move. Which actually might, yeah, that's really, and also there's no rook a8, so like you can't actually defend this pawn. So if we go rook a4, this would be a move that shows some class. Rook e1, rook takes a2, and I guess we just work to take the pawns. Yeah, it seems like the main edges right now is the awkward knight and the king having no left. Yeah, and also like we are going to be a pawn up in this scenario. Rook a4 it would be a nice little move to see. I think Pietro's got it. He's fully capable, but also he may still just take on c2, which I also think is fine. Yeah, and he does. So now he might be thinking like draw kind of mindset ish. Because b6 essentially really nicely, like this knight for the whole game has just been very like controlled entirely. But now we're going to start seeing the line of that control kind of slowly disappearing. All right. Can't believe we were streaming in the wrong category. We would have had so many more people pop in. Oh, interesting. So, rook attacking the bishop on e5. I think bishop c3 is kind of like a nice little move to play, because you all right, you're trying to get on this file, but it's kind of scary because you can't actually do anything on g7. Like, okay, you can play rook takes pawn and then king g8, and we're fine. And if we ever do this, then we're doing really well. Like now, I think. We go rook e8 if g3, f3 comes, so you've got to do something like h3 or h4. Let's say h3. Ah, this is the problem. I thought f3 and then you push, but I don't want this either. Okay. We protect and we push. You guarantee me Pietro will win. Good luck to him. Well, potentially, yeah. Like there's always stuff to play for. Bishop c3 just gives him a pawn, so this is a good thing. And there's also like bishop c3, rook c7. Nah, screw it. We just take and make you less active than you were a second ago. Rook e8, and we'll try and come in. Yeah. Why not rook fc8? What, here? I think we just drop the pawn. They don't have to take. Obviously, for those of you that might not have seen it, that is checkmate. In like 5 because the rooks can come back and block, but it's over. So yeah, rook fc8 might come, but we want to defend pawns. So I think bishop c3 is a little annoying move to deal with, but also annoying to see. His opponent is playing rapid 8+2, but it's 8+30. Yeah. I mean, they're both low on time. Their time is even enough now. Ugh. Their time is even enough. Hey, Ciendio, how you doing? I am doing fantastic. This has been a really great game. We've still got a little bit of an edge. Pietro played some really aggressive style in a really aggressive style, which is awesome to see. I'm hoping it will pay off still. He's still having a little bit of a think. He had a major time advantage. The timings are now a little bit more even. I'll be intrigued. I wonder if he missed like a bishop e5, but I think he kind of decided to liquidate down for time reasons as well. Rook e1. I think it's fine. It's a fine move, but yeah, I think bishop c3 is the key move here, which is again findable. It just depends how well Pietro does in the time pressure, and then it gets a little bit more tricky for our opponent. Something like rook c7, I think we just take. Maybe even rook f7. Rook e8 has some threats though. Okay, so he actually opts just to go bishop f6, which is a mistake, which is eaten into our accuracy. Gutted. And then we get rook takes a2. Again, this intermezzo kind of move was really, really fascinating. Rook e1 doesn't take the free pawn. No, it doesn't, but it creates a tempo move, and they both missed that the bishop c3 was the antidote to this. And because also well, to be honest, actually, it's still better on b1 probably because you have some potential. But yeah, for whatever reason, he preferred to play rook e1 first. And yeah. And also, it looks like he's getting rooks on the 7th, which looks dangerous, right? It looks scary. Rook d8, rook c8. Feels okay. There's only one move that retains black's tiny, tiny, tiny microscopic edge. So we're at 0.16 at the moment, and that would be king g8. Outside of that, moves like rook d1 seem fine. You can't go rook c7, so rook e8 is also maybe a little bit misplaced, and that's why bishop f6 was Pietro's choice to stop infiltration. But at the same time, these positions, like, there's a lot of nuance. You can spend a lot of time. And he does play king g8. Nice job. That's a great little find. It also means that he's trying to find rook f7. So there's no rook down. But I'd say like rook behind the pawn, or rook a, or rook next to the pawn. I'd prefer this, to be honest, from white. To be honest. Oh no, you need rook a6 to keep hold of this. My bad. My bad. My bad. We could be here for a while. This endgame can go on. This endgame can go on a while, guys. The bishop is still playing a very helpful role. Yeah. Bishop f6 feels like a clean move to play. Okay, he's giving himself some lift with h3. It's hard for both players to sort of double up rooks and stuff. Spoilers, guys. Spoilers are coming. Luft. Yeah, but the thing is with this luft, I mean, you have to give yourself some luft, but g3 would not allow you to get luft because you get f3 in, and then there's some problems. So maybe there's some like rook d8, bishop d4, knight takes, rook takes. Rook down, rook up. I don't know, it gets very even. Oh, okay. I like the play. We're attacking, guys. We're attacking. And then this forces black to white to be kind of passive. I like it. I like it a lot. Maybe now we actually ask for a trade. And this is good. This is good going from Pietro. He's asking tough questions. No. Actually, I don't like asking for a trade, because if you do takes, then here. Taking here is annoying. But we get the bishop out of dodge. Because if they take, then it's just more weakness, and we're doing okay. So like this is actually a really nice find. Really nice try. Never give up. Never give up. I actually feel like I play similarly to Pietro in some regards. During the middle game, we're very different. But when I'm in endgames, I'm very much annoying. Yeah. It would have been nice, but alas, it's still good. Yeah, and you just keep asking questions, and your opponent gets lower and lower on time. And it's like so easy to miss moves like this. Okay, rook f1 played. Now, f3 ourselves, I quite like, to try and trap in the king a bit. Rook f7, I also like. Maybe there's like rook e8. Trying to come in as well. Rook e8, g6, takes. Rook here. Rook check. Ouch. So yeah, like let's say if rook e8, you cannot afford to push this. You cannot. Actually, we've got this. Ouch. That would be a nice way to mate. That would be a very nice way to mate. You would love to play me in endgames. Matt, that's been my bread and butter. Nice. All right. All right. I'm also very tricky to play when I'm just down heaps of material. When I'm losing, I'm the most dangerous person you can play. The engine isn't impressed, but like I don't know. I think we've got all the chances here. I don't think White's got anything now. They're so passive, and it also probably feels like you're losing. Like the guys looks really chill, but at the same time, like time is low for both of us. It could go either way still. That could be blunders. Hey, Jess Burns. Matt doesn't know how to play an endgame to save his life. Hey, that's what you think. Depends on the type of endgame. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Is that you, Jay? That is Jay, isn't it? Depends on the type of endgame. King and pawn endgames, maybe not so much. Okay, so he ups rook d8. Fine. I don't know why I worked rook d8. Yeah, rook d8 is weird because the knight's covering the square. Rook e8 would have felt better for me. Rook a4. Ah, this is worrying though. Because here, this is not helpful. Ah, we can go knight f3. Okay. Ah, but maybe I was worried about knight d4 anyway. So here, knight d4. Yeah, okay, that gets more drawish. So maybe, maybe this is going to peter out. We want to be pushing our own agenda. We really do. Can we protect the pawn? Can we attack the pawn? I think rook a4 feels logical. I don't like b5 though. This is my thing. Oh, now you have knight d4 anyway. Yeah, I don't know. This is where you could spend such a long time on this stuff. Don't worry, sir. No, I didn't realize that was you. 17 Labubus and counting. How dare you? I don't own a single Labubu. I just get them named after me by other people that have them. Okay, rook a4 played. Okay, good move found by the opponent. This gets tricky. This gets very tricky. How do we hold? Bishop e7? Thinking something like bishop e7, rook takes. And then maybe we get some like bishop c5 and we sort of trade down. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like this. But it feels scary because we're never going to hold on to this pawn. So that probably isn't what we're going to see at all. So bishop e7 might not be the way. Huh. Okay, bishop f6, rook takes. Can we reposition? I don't like this either. I don't know. This is now the question's being asked to Pietro. Pietro's got to answer some questions big time. Fortunately, I don't have to answer them. You just hope my opponent blunders 6-7 moves and I capture their queen. Yep. Matt, have you slept at all? Good question. Not really. But yes, I have slept. No, I had a really good night's sleep last night. I was meant to meet a load of friends and I ended up sleeping heavily. Heavily. Watch out for Matt as a pending stuffed toy addiction, dude. Don't even. Oh, I couldn't do that to myself. I could not do that to myself. Oh, we're going to have some background noise. Did they just shake hands? Wait, they just agreed to draw. And he went broke back. Where? I thought they were talking to each other. No, I'm seeing things. Yeah, you're right. It's been a long day. Draw. I know. Yeah, they agreed to draw. I'm not seeing things. They shook hands. Draw offered. Yeah. All right. There we go. Huge plays. Really good game from Pietro. Really good game. Very fighting, very aggressive. Definitely had the initiative. All the way through. Love to see it. Solid effort. All right. Also love the aggressive playstyle. You know, you just get the sense that the draws get offered. All right. Okay, everybody. GG's. I'm gonna message Pietro, just say GG. A really nice game. He should take his jacket with him, lol. All right. He's probably analyzing with his opponent, I assume, because he's left the camera running. So they finished like 10 minutes ago. I am going to stop and get some food. And then the next round, I believe, is in an hour. Yeah. It's 1 hour, 2. Yeah, so we've got an hour's break, guys. So I'm probably gonna head off. I'll probably end stream. I would love to keep streaming, but I also need to grab some food. We'll see who's around to raid. See you later, guys. Does anyone want to raid anyone specific? Otherwise, I will just raid either Alex or maybe Agne. I know they've rebranded. They're trying to do like the Bota sister things. Maybe Alex. Let's raid Alex. She's doing some Blitz Arena stuff. But we will be back, and I will catch you all later. Thanks for hanging around. You didn't know anyone's specific streams. Yeah, that would be a great name. I should take that. Can you give me food? Maybe I can. Maybe I can. All right. We'll start the raid for Alex. We'll catch you all later. I'll be up and running probably in less than an hour, but we will grab some food. 2 draws, 2 losses, 1 win. He has to win the next game. Yep. No worries. Thanks, Zoomja. I'll catch you all in a bit. Wise players make a draw. Yeah. He played a really good game though. It's like really super aggressive and everything. See you guys later. All right. Peace, guys.